Welcome to the Elite Life with Trisha and Kylee. This is where we'll teach you how to develop grit, give yourself grace, and succeed in real estate. So let's dive in.
Welcome back, friends, to another episode of the Elite Life Podcast. I'm Trish, and with me is the incredible Kylee. And today, I wanted to share something I read in my friend Brian's newsletter.
Yay, Brian Fullerton! Shout out.
We love the Fullertons.
We do.
They are awesome. If you have never heard his podcast, it's Fullerton Unfiltered. We love to listen. We get a lot of great content from it and ideas, and they've been on the show too. So go back and watch their episode about building a business and building an amazing family. It was a fantastic one.
It was. I didn't want it to end.
I know. We're definitely will have them back on. I've been on theirs a couple times too. But I loved it because it caught my eye. His newsletter immediately caught my eye because he quoted Andrew Carnegie. And the quote is, "You are what you think. So just think big, believe big, act big, work big, give big, forgive big, laugh big, love big, and live big." And this really stuck with me because it's so true. And like, I'm always talking about like massive action and big goals and like raising the bar. So it just immediately when I seen it, I had to send it to you, and here we are.
Here we are. We wanted to share it with you guys. And we talked about the importance of mentality several times and how your perspective and your mentality can affect the trajectory of your day, your week, your month, your entire year, your whole life. So let's dig into some of these points that we've got written down here that we totally stole from Brian.
Yeah. So the first point is think big, right? So your thoughts are the starting points for your actions.
Yep.
And you have to let your mind be free to think of expansive big ideas and let it race a little bit and flourish with creativity and innovation, because when you dream big, you will automatically accomplish goals that you never thought were possible.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a sermon the other day, Stephen Furtick, and he said, Holly always asked him, like, well, what would 15-year-old Stephen think of this? You know, like they're out here at this big thing at their campus in Toronto. And she's like, how cool is this? Like there's 2,000 people in that audience and there's like millions of people that are watching around the world. And she's like, what would 15-year-old Stephen think about this? And he's like, no way. And he's like, that's always what 15-year-old Stephen would think about. And that stuck with me because I feel like that all the time. And I say that to Dave, like if you would have asked 15-year-old Trisha, like, what her life would look like when she was 42, and you would tell her like, you live in this house, I would have been like, no way. Or, you know,
No way.
You have a team of over 100 agents. I would be like, that's crazy, you know?
Like, no, I'm going to be a doctor.
Yeah, I mean, all of these things in my life today are things that if you asked 15-year-old me, it would have been no way. 20-year-old me would have laughed. I mean, even 30-year-old me would have been like, I mean, I don't know, that's a reach, you know? But I had to be able to write it down and to work towards it and to like take those little steps, you know?
I love it so much. And I love this exercise. So I'm just now really breaking into like envisioning things. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of the top entrepreneurs that we listen to, that we follow, that we love, I want to say all of them always talk about having some kind of space in their day where they just sit and envision. They visualize. That was the word I was looking for. They visualize their future, whether it's the next month, the next year, the next quarter, the next 10 years. And I love doing this because it gets my heart pumping. Because like you just said, you know, 5-10 years, even just 5 years ago, if you would have said you have between you and your husband, you have like 4 or 5 businesses, you guys have the cars, you have the kids, you have the things, and I would have been like, no way. And I love sitting down and envisioning like, what is Kylee going to feel like in 5 years? When? And you don't have to, you have to say when. You can't say if, right? When real estate business is going great. She's leading new agents into their own successful, seasons and years and careers. And Ryan's got, he's booked out for 6-8 months on his fishing charter business, and the maintenance company is doing great. Like, I love envisioning what our life is going to look like in the next 5 years, because that motivates me, and it puts it out there. Law of attraction, like Andy talks about this all the time. Like, you put it out there, and you put it out there, and like we've always said, consistency. And like Trisha's told you guys before, when you put something out there, your mind automatically goes to work to make it happen. 100%.
Yeah. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, friends.
All right. So next is believe big. And this kind of ties into this first one that we just talked about, because you can have all the vision, but you have to believe you can do it. This one is super hard for me because I'm constantly second guessing myself. So like, even though I have those vision, those vision moments, it's like, can I really do this? Can we really get over this hurdle? Like, what I love about Ryan is I'm the pie in the sky person, and he's very grounded. And so like when I'm like idea or projection, he's like, well, here's all the hurdles, here's all the steps. And he really helps me visualize like how we're going to get from here to this big dream, but you have to believe that you can.
Yeah. And we've talked about that before, right? The power of confidence and embracing an unwavering belief in yourself and your business. And that just reminded me when I was saying that, like when Nikki was getting married, she put quotes up for like all the people in her wedding party. And the quote she put under me was, somebody's got to win, so it might as well be me.
If you're not first, you're last.
But it's true, because you have to embody that confidence. And when you believe in yourself and your services, that your services are going to bring value and beauty and solace to your customers' lives. And when you remember that and you believe that, your passion, it becomes infectious and it draws people into your vision. I'm like, this is going to be great. We're going to do amazing things. Let's go. Like, I seen a guy the other day, he was on Instagram and he was asking his boss, like, how do I get investors to invest in my business? And she said, you need a business plan. And my immediate response was, no, you need a vision. You need to sell a dream.
Yeah.
I will buy a dream before I will buy a business plan. And I think that because so many people act out of emotions, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a business plan. I do definitely believe in a business plan. But if you really want to get a big movement going, you are selling a dream. You are selling this belief in yourself that you're going to do something that's going to make the world a better place, and they want to be a part of doing that.
Absolutely. And that brings us to act big. Action is the biggest bridge between your aspirations and your achievements. So don't hesitate to make bold moves, to take those steps towards growth. Expand your services. Forge partnerships, work with people in the community, and invest in continuing to learn. That's one of our core values at Elite, is personal development, training, continuing to learn, continuing to grow, and seize every opportunity that comes up to enhance your life, your business, personal side, professional side, so that you can make a lasting impact in your community and in your industry. Because let me tell you one fact that nobody ever wants to talk about: everybody's going to die. Everyone will die. Everyone who breathes air will die, and that's okay. But kind of part of life. But when you think about it, when you pass away, what are you leaving behind? Like, are people going to say, oh, they were a great person, blah, 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 whatever? Or are people going to say, man, they did all of these things. Like, they helped my kid go to college. They funded this thing. They put on this thing. Elite Realty got Christmas presents for my kids when I was going through a divorce and I had no money, or my husband died, or my car broke down. Like, what are you doing? What are you leaving here? Because that's literally it. You can amass all the money, all the people, all the things, but you can't take that with you. What are you leaving behind? And one thing that is going to directly impact that is your action steps.
Absolutely. I love that. And I really took hold of this. I gotta give some props out there to Uncle G, Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone. I was introduced to Grant Cardone, and he is just the king of taking massive action. And I literally just when I started listening to his content, and I was like, you know what? Like, just throw all of your insecurities and fears and care about what everybody else thinks, and you just keep taking massive action, especially if you're feeling stuck. If you feel stuck or overwhelmed, the best and sometimes the only thing that you can do is just one thing at a time. So just, all right, here are 50 things I can do. I'm going to do this thing. And then after that thing's done, I'm going to do this thing. And after that thing's done, I'm going to do this thing. And after that thing's done. And literally, that's how I live my life. Like, all of these things are on my Google Calendar all day, every day, all of the colors, like rainbow bright puke. And everybody's like, how do you do all these things? And I'm like, I literally just do the next thing. And then the next thing, and then the next. I don't think about all the things. I never look at like the whole month as a whole, or the whole brain week as a whole. Yeah, or the whole day as a whole. Like, after podcasting, I have to look at my calendar to know what's next, because although I'm in my calendar all day, every day, I'm just focused on what's the next thing, and that equals out to massive amounts of action. Because here's the thing: when you allow yourself to get overwhelmed, you will do no things. So instead of me thinking, oh, I can't possibly do another thing, I can't possibly take on another thing, I will throw it on the calendar, and then I will say, okay, what steps does it take to get through to this end goal? And then I'll just put those steps on the calendar, and it just creates massive action. You have to play big. You have to get frequent and make sure people know who you are. Like you said, what are you leaving behind? People need to know who you are. You have to be impacting the world.
And one story I want to throw in for the listeners who are kind of just joining us and haven't heard my story before. Like, Trish and I are obviously related, so I've known you for like 35 years. However, we didn't start working together until like 2021. We really didn't start digging in. And the reason was I was working somewhere else. I was in a 9-to-5 job, and it was not fulfilling my dream, fulfilling my purpose. I was frustrated. I was feeling stuck. I didn't feel like I had the ability and I wasn't collecting the resources that I needed in order to take my family to the next level, to that next chapter. And I was at a space where I really was stuck. And so it's like, if you are sitting in a 9-to-5 job and you're like, okay, I'm only working with this amount of money that's coming in order to make my dreams come true, I have to have this, like, you're going to have to take massive action. And it is scary. It's so scary, especially if you are considering taking a step where you are going from something very secure and comfortable to something that is super duper scary, brand new, commission only. I talk to so many women who are in this spot where they're like, oh, I could never do that because I don't, I'm a single mom. I need the income. I need that consistent income. And I'm constantly preaching to these women, like, if you work your business, you're gonna have that consistent income. And like, they're like, oh, well, I don't have the support for childcare. I'm like, talk to my girl, Rachel Blue. She takes her baby everywhere she goes. Like, you just get it done. And it does come down to one thing at a time. So when I was talking to Trisha about like, how am I going to take this big, overwhelming thing where I'm feeling stuck and I don't know how to get out of the rut, just one thing at a time. First step, read this book. Second step, make a plan. Third step, here we go. You're quitting your job, you're starting real estate, and here we are.
Yeah. On our coaching calls, we used to say, okay, here's what's the one thing we're going to do this week in your personal life? What's the one thing we're going to do this week in your business life? And literally, we just coached it through one thing at a time. One thing at a time. If you try to dump the whole bucket upside down at one time, it's going to be a mess. But
you're going to drown.
You can take massive action one thing at a time. And that just brings us to our next one, which is work big. And this is something that I live, everybody in our household lives. And as much as sometimes I vent about how overwhelmed it can be, I love it. I love hard work and dedication. I fully believe that they are the bedrock to success. And you can channel your energy into, perfecting your craft and just getting better and better every day. Like, you have to, I always say, like, I guess I'm going to bring out all of my taglines. Say, you got to show up to win.
Yeah.
You got to show up to win, and you have to show up every day with a commitment to excellence. and just watch as your efforts create satisfied clients and a thriving business. And like, don't get me wrong, when we get on these podcasts, like, I am still 100% a work in progress. Every day I have to work to write angry emails and then delete them and fight off the old versions of me and, you know, work myself up into doing this or doing that. But what I will do is work. I will work every day. I'll work at getting better. I'll work at better experiences for my clients. I'll work at handling stressful situations better. And it's really exciting when I look back and I think about, like, you know, this week there was a lot of things that caught on fire, a lot of serious, like, you know, I was doing my sister's deal. Like, obviously I'm very emotionally invested in my little sister's house. And when it started to catch on fire,
the house didn't actually catch on fire.
No, the deal
kind of went sideways.
Fire. Yeah. So when
Nikki's fine.
Yeah. Everybody's fine. Nobody was harmed or houses were harmed. But when things started to get crazy, my initial reaction wants to like freak out, right? Like, what do you mean this isn't going to close? Blah, 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 blah. But I didn't do any of that. And when I looked back at the end of the day, literally the end of the day, because I stayed calm, I worked hard, I kept focused forward, I kept my mindset right, and I was able to tame my emotions and not allow them to enter the deal. It's still closed. It's still, everything went the way that it needed to go to get it to the closing table. And it's only because I continue to work hard to get a little better every day and to audit, where do I still need to work on? Sometimes my emotions get the best of me and I respond, and then what I remember the next time that happens is, dude, last time you got like this get emotional, it went really bad. Anytime I allow my emotions to get in a deal that's going sideways, it goes really bad. So it's like learning from those past actions and continuing to work hard and work big and getting better and better every day.
Yeah, this reminds me of the episode that we did on hustle culture. So if you haven't heard that one, it was super good. Trisha was just preaching the gospel on that one. So go back and listen. We'll throw the link in the description. But next is giving big. Generosity knows no bounds. And as you flourish, as you have more, you can give more. You can extend your hand to those around you. You can give back to the community, and you can acknowledge and reward, you know, your team that keeps your business going. And this is one thing that you have built at Elite Realty that I know just totally fills your heart, because coming from where we came from, where we were on the other end, and now you're on the other end.
Yes, this is literally my favorite part of life. I love it so much because when we do an Elite Cares project, the last one we did was the foster closet. So we did a drive for summer clothes for children that are being placed in foster care. When a child gets placed in foster care, usually they have one black garbage bag. They, you know, social services comes to their house. They hand them a black garbage bag. They say, you have 5 minutes exactly to get whatever you can put in this bag, and that is all you have. And you leave your home and your life that you know and your safety with that black garbage bag, and
you go somewhere completely new with strangers and new people.
Exactly. So when I found out about these foster closets, I was like, this has to be something that I'm a part of. So we, Jill, one of our agents, Jill, she works a lot with the Plymouth Foster Closet. So we partnered with them and we did a drive for, you know, new and gently used clothes. And then some people gave money, and Kim went and shopped the clearance racks and got them name brand Nike shorts and stuff like that. And when I got a thank you card from them, and it was like a picture that was hand drawn by a little kid and was like, thank you so much for your donations. And they were like, our donations for that Elite Cares project, we did a 3-week drive and we helped 80 families. 80 families.
That's amazing.
And last year for Christmas, we gave presents for Christmas to almost 100 children who wouldn't have had Christmas. And we do that. Animal shelters, foster closets, veterans, victims of human trafficking, the local schools, moms in need, families who need food. And like, this is my why. This is what fills me up, even to where like when we have our Christmas party and I'm able to buy gifts for the agents at Christmas. And it's just like, I leave so jazzed up. Like they're like, that's like the jazzed up, like excited and full, and just like, it's the happiest I feel is being able to impact people's lives like that. Like, I love it.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And so this next one that we're going to talk about is not always easy, but we have to talk about it. It's forgive big. So mistakes are part of any journey. If you're a human who breathes air and has skin, and you've made mistakes. We've all made mistakes. We've had people who have made mistakes that impacted us. So you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive others for setbacks, and you need to use these experiences as stepping stones to growth, right? So cultivating a culture of understanding and empathy and having all of that within your team and with clients, it builds really strong, loyal relationships. And those can withstand the test of time. And those relationships are what is going to build your business and what you can lean on and rely on in those times of business or those seasons in your business where maybe things are getting a little tight. That is really what it comes down to, is forgiving, having great relationships. And again, it's not always easy. It is not.
Yeah, I mean, none of these things are easy, except maybe the next one, which I get to touch on, which is laugh big.
We do this a lot.
We do this a lot, especially me and Kylee, but all in our office. I mean, we are constantly just having fun, like humor, camaraderie, like amidst the challenges and the craziness of real estate, you can get a lot of really good laughs, and it just rejuvenates your spirit. And like Kylee, I was telling you this yesterday at the gym, like Kylee is one of my favorite people to be around, because we will literally just laugh for like an entire hour at the gym while we're working out. And then it's like, oh, it's all done and it's over. But we got a good ab workout because we also laughed our faces off.
But I think too that like that's one thing that we learned growing up. Like our whole family has always been like that. Everybody is always, I was telling Trisha, I can close my eyes and remember sitting in Aunt Cindy's booth table or her little dining area there, the house on Pioneer. And I remember sitting there, and I'm young, so I'm just sitting there eating my chicken nuggets. The adults are around and they're chit-chatting and they're laughing. And our Aunt Cindy's laughter is so infectious. Oh my God. And so I remember, I can close my eyes and see they're laughing, everybody's laughing, and I start cracking up. And I remember my mom looking at me being like, "What are you laughing for?" And I'm like, "I don't know, but it's really funny." And it's so great. And that's one thing I do love about our team at Elite is if I'm having a garbage day, or if I need to get picked up, or if I'm feeling crunchy, like Rachel's there, Kristen's there, Andy's there. I always have someone, Jill's always there to lift me up. We have fun conversations, or she'll tell me about the babies she got to hold. And it's just such an important part of personal and professional life that's going to get you through those crunchy spots.
Absolutely. And that leads us to love big, right? Like you got to love what you do, and your passion will radiate to every corner of your business, to every part of your family. Like love your team, love your customers. Love becomes your driving force in every action. And then it doesn't feel like work anymore. Right. And I think we do this so great, and just like, I love real estate. I love being able to impact people's lives. I love being able to impact the agents, impact the clients, impact the community. Like I literally get filled up and fired up about it. And I think that's why we have such a great time on the podcast too, because we love talking.
We do. We love talking to each other. You guys, we're glad you're here, but this is really about us. No, kidding. I'm just kidding. So our last point finally is live big. Embrace life with zest and enthusiasm. Your business is an integral part of your life's journey. So make each moment count. And when you do that and you're living big, you're relishing the small victories. Like we talked before about like just really embracing those small wins. I mean, for example, the fact that you gave your 3-year-old a cup and they didn't throw an epic fit about whether it was blue or red. Like sometimes I have days where I need those small wins. I need those small wins. Like I'll come home after a 14-hour day, my husband is there, and, I ask him how his day went, and he's like, "You know what? We didn't do shit around the house, but I played with my kids all day. Everybody's happy. Nobody's sick." And even though I wasn't personally physically there, that might not seem like a big win, But that is a small victory, and small victories lead to big wins.
Absolutely. And that's what we got for you today, friends. These are the secrets to a happy life and thriving business. So I hope you got as much out of it as we did, because sometimes you just need a reminder about those things. If you don't love where you're at, you are not a tree. Move. Period.
I like that.
Right? Like
a tree. Get up and leave.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We're done here.
All right. If you found value, if you like this, if you liked everything that we had to say, or even if you just liked one thing that we had to say, please share the show. You never know whose day you're going to impact by just hitting that share button. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss fresh episodes. We drop fresh episodes every Thursday all over the place. So hit that subscribe button. Give us a 5-star review, drop us a love note, and come back next week for a fresh episode of Elite Life.
You can share us even if you don't like us, and we'll take that too. Haters are welcome. Help our algorithm.
Oh my gosh. Bye, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
We thank you so much for joining us today on the Elite Live with Trish and Kylee. Be sure to share the episode with a friend so we can continue bringing you more great tips on grit, grace, and real estate. You can also connect with us on Instagram, Facebook. We hope the ideas we share continue to help you build an empire and leave a legacy.